friends. So last night we did a mastermind with my coaching students, and one of the conversations that we were having was around, I don't want to call it goal setting, like people have goal set, they set goals on and stuff, which is fine. But we were having a conversation around goals, but it was framed a little bit differently. And it's just framed as like, what is it that you want to create this year that at this point in time may have been disconnected. All right, I think we're back. And so we broke down, like, I didn't tell them we were going to do this, but after everybody kind of put down what their outcomes were, I did. I asked them, I'm like, for how many of you does this feel impossible? Like right now, like what you wrote down to accomplish that by the end of the year feels impossible. Every one of them was like, yeah, it feels impossible. And I'm like, I get it. And yeah, it feels impossible. And I'm like, I get it. And good, because it should. So you should have things on your vision board, things that you're striving for that feel impossible today, because who you are today, likely it is impossible for you to achieve what it is that you want in the future. But then what we did from that place, we began breaking it down. Okay, and so we have a process, and we go, like, we're gonna break this down month by month by month, but starting with month one. Like this month, what is your mission that you need to go out and achieve that doesn't help you create, like, it's not going to help you immediately achieve that goal, but what it does, it shortens that path, right? It shortens the path, and you've created a monthly mission that is possible, that's very possible, and it's very likely that you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, however many objectives that need to be done this month that you can do, that you can commit to and you can achieve, and that are all possible. And they're also essentially building blocks, or bricks, if you will, to build towards that game, towards that impossible goal, that impossible game that you're playing. And so what happens if you see, you take down, like, just say month one, you've got a big vision, something that seems impossible. But if month one, you just say, okay, I'm going to do these 4 things, set up this meeting, do this research, hire this person, design this website, whatever it is. If you do those things, and then we niche down to, and we'll do weekly items as well, right, to help build towards creating the monthly mission. And the same concept applies, where each week, these key targets that you're selecting, they're all possible. They're not impossible, but they are building, and they're pointing in the direction of that big vision and that big outcome. So each week you got specific things that there's baby steps, little things. They're simple things, and they're possible. They're not impossible. And so what happens each week, you create these steps, you take a step up. And then you do that 4 weeks in a row. At the end of the month, you've achieved those objectives that you set out at the beginning of the month to do. And then when you look at it, you're like, okay, now you've made traction. You've stepped up several steps on this big, seemingly impossible staircase that leads to your big vision. And if you do that month one, then you enter month two, and you look at where you're at based on what you accomplished from the previous month, where you still have to get to. You're only focused on that month. What can I do this month? What are 4 key targets that I can hit this month that when I accomplish them, not if, because these are going to be possible things that you can do. May not be easy, but you can do them. And when you accomplish them month 2, you're multiple steps closer to achieving your goal. And if you do this, you can call it whatever you want to call it, reverse engineering. You can call it just cutting it down, slicing and dicing this elephant to be able to eat it one bite at a time. And how you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And how you break down a big vision, something that feels impossible, is you get very specific with your planning each week, strategically planning out things that you can do that coincide, help you hit what you're doing each month. And when you continue that over and over, you're laying bricks, like you're building like your castle, your vision, like, and you're taking steps up the ladder each and every week and each and every month. And when you begin to do that, my friends, like, that is how you can reach something that feels impossible possible. And the way that you do it is by specifically and strategically taking action on items each week and each month that are very possible. And the more things that you do that are possible, that are pointed in the direction of doing the impossible, is how it's done. And that's what the impossible is. The impossible is just a accumulation. Like it is a conglomeration of you taking all these little possible, achievable things over and over strategically, that build to add up to the sum of impossible. So we left the mastermind. Each one of them had some specific targets and things that they were going to do next month for their monthly mission. And then we move into the month to do their monthly mission. Each week they submit a plan of attack. The sun is right in my face. They have a plan of attack for each week. Specific action items. We put them in the group. There's some accountability there, and they just go take action. So each week, as they hit these, they hit these targets, and each month they hit these targets, they're one step closer to hitting their impossible game, their impossible goal, their impossible vision. It seemed impossible. It's going to be possible just because they're going to do all the possible things they can each month, each week, and eventually what seemed impossible will be very possible. So if you'd like to get some information about our group, being a part of our group, what we have going on there, we're combining the best of breakthrough with real estate to make sure that you can overcome the objections, the limited, mindset, things that you have, doubts, fears, worries, market concerns, all that kind of stuff. Hit me up, shoot me a private message, and I'll give you some details on how we can connect and take a look and see if our program is a good fit for you. Take care, my friends.